Welcome to Nerds of the Northland, episode 29. And today we are going to talk about our collective top 10 game controllers.
Yeah, we've been playing games for so long, and there's so many different setups and formats, and it's become pretty much generic now, but it was kind of the Wild West back in the day, so we're going to talk about some of the old ones.
Right, and before we get into that, please like and subscribe if you can. It really helps us out, and for some reason, likes do a lot for channels on YouTube. More than people think. But yeah, so twitch.tv/CosmoRetro and twitch.tv/JMosier89 if you want to watch us on...
Okay, we'll stop for a second. There's no way for me to meaningfully put these things on screen and leave them up for long enough for them to make any sense. What Jacob was saying is you can find him at CosmoRetro Studios LLC on Steam. He's got a game for sale and making more. You can also find him at twitch.tv/CosmoRetro, and you can find me at twitch.tv/JMosier89 and everything Nerds of the Northland. Thank you very much. Keep watching.
If you want to watch us on Twitch or catch us anywhere. Yeah, this list was we went back and forth a few times, but generally we agreed on pretty much all of it. So that's why we're going to do a collective list.
Yeah, and sort of the list kind of goes from like, I don't know, the first couple are kind of hated to like our most beloved. So I mean,
we're gonna point out both sides. Like on each one, we're gonna point out what we like and don't like, pretty much.
Yeah, and there may be a couple or at least one that are absent from the list that we'll talk about at the end.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll start things off with number 10.
Yeah, which pretty much is like universally known as the worst controller design ever on the Sega Dreamcast.
Sega Dreamcast, yeah. I don't have too much experience with it, but I do remember that the one good thing I did like about it is when they put that little mini screen on it, but then it gets old, I guess.
Yeah, Sega's exit from the console market, understandably. I mean, it was a good idea and it was ahead of its time with the internet connectivity and everything, but I remember one of their biggest things was was what Nintendo was afraid of is early CD technology was very piratable. Like all you had to do was straight up burn a game to a CDR and you could play it in the Dreamcast. So that kind of hurt it. Their sales weren't great, but it did as just like the Saturn, I think it did much better in Japan and then kind of just died in America. And it was the end of Sega.
Right. It did last 2 years from 1999 to 2001. It had a few beloved games on there like Shenmue and
Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure, yeah.
1 and 2.
But Sega eventually became just a software company and we still love Sega to this day.
Yeah, and let's be fair, Sonic Adventure was almost unplayable on the Dreamcast. It was much better on the Wii. GameCube.
Wasn't too comfortable. I do remember that too. It was kind of shaped a little weird.
Yeah. Then well, I didn't have more to say. I don't
know. No. Number 9 is a Sega Genesis, so not a Sega one.
And I mean, this was like the first one, because I remember like the NES and the Super Nintendo, which worked much better, but they were straighter and more square. They tried to like round this one, but they did it wrong. And the buttons were just because was it 6 buttons?
ABC, yeah.
No, it was 3, but it was instead of 2x2, it was just 3. And I don't know, it just did not feel right. Luckily, I had big hands, but people with smaller hands, it didn't work right because it was a stretch to get to all 3 of the buttons. And it was just, you tried, Sega. Yeah. Like always, good job, Sega, you failed.
At the same time, back then it was after the Nintendo, so of course they added a button. But at that time, the Super Nintendo added another button, and it just made more sense that way. So Sega, you should have added for A, B, C, and D. Where's the D? Anyway,
I'll show you the D. Wait a second.
Double D's. I mean, double D. Eddie, Ed, and Eddie. Bam, bam.
Duluth.
Bam, 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 So number 8 is the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, and like nostalgically, this is like, I mean, the system that started it all for us gaming, but you could have probably murdered someone with that controller, and I'm guessing somebody did. Not recommending that, YouTube. Don't do that,
right?
Kids.
Very simple controller. We love it because of how simple it is and how we only need a jump and a run button, but at times, when you hold it for like maybe an hour, it actually starts to hurt your hands. And like when I speedrun Mario 3, I actually can only do a few runs without my hands hurting. I'm a wimp. But no, they're sharp. The sharp corners.
And they were too small and it just didn't work. I mean, we'll talk more later about Nintendo controllers.
But we're heading in the more positive direction anyway. But yeah, Number 7 is the Nintendo Wii, and I'm gonna say this first. The biggest reason I wanted this on the lower list is just because, yeah, I love the Wii Sports, and that did well, but almost every other game I had to use the Wiimote, I had trouble using it. I don't know if it was me, but they did a good job with the technology. I just couldn't handle it right.
Yeah, and motion control, I mean, this was obviously Wii. It's one of the top selling systems of all time for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
It was very, very innovative, and with bowling and Frisbee golf. I don't know how many hours of drunken Frisbee golf I played when I was 21.
Wii Sports.
19. But, I mean, just the nights of just craziness. But, like he said, when it came to, like, Twilight Princess and having to swing the Wiimote for your sword, and it was cool with fishing because it was slow and you didn't have to do much. But when it came to like sword fighting, it sucked.
Didn't feel quite right when it was that fast. Yeah,
they made some rail shooters bad. They made first person shooters bad. I mean, and also the power of the system didn't help. It was like a kind of upgraded GameCube processor. Didn't really have much power compared to what was out there. PS2, Xbox, on and on. But yeah. I had to put the Wii on here, obviously, for those reasons, for the games that were made for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wii Sports are really good, though, but other than that, no. Next is the PlayStation 4, and this is kind of lower on the list because there's a certain few small buttons on there, and otherwise I'd love it, though. I mean, I can't complain. This is the part where we're going to start loving the controllers.
Yeah, and I put PS4, and I guess he said PS4 here, I put PS5, and that's, I have PS5 here controller.
Gotcha, yeah.
And I like the PS4 controller, but I feel like this one, the same size basically as the PS4
Perhaps
controller.
A lot of you will agree with them, actually, with PS5 being really
But with
good.
these being longer and wider, they actually fit into the palm of your hands. Other than the other one, they kind of stop here. But really, they're interchangeable as far as quality. But what I don't understand is, can we stop with this? Stop it. Just get rid of that. Make it smaller and put like we used to, buttons in the middle. We don't need this. And it doesn't work most of the time. And most games don't even implement it how you can use it. So stop it.
Joe really hates that.
My only negative. Otherwise, I love the controller. It works well. It's weighted good. That's the harder thing about the earlier PlayStation controllers is they were weighted weird. They didn't feel right in your hands. But that's what I'd say about that. PS4. He's a PS4. I said PS5. I think they're on the same level.
Oh yeah. Next would be the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yes.
And so this is really high on the list. Or top 5 is because of how I've been privileged to play with it a few times, and it's been just really comfortable. I think they did a really good job with it overall.
Yeah, and they just took the Joy-Cons are just a mess. Even with that little like plastic piece, you can make the Joy-Cons into a controller. They're too small. They're shaped wrong. But honorable mention here. I didn't include this because it's not a official Nintendo product, but this is the Hori Pro controllers for the Switch. On the same level, I'd say, with this one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But the Switch Pro controller worked great, and I think it's got to be the best rumble function and stuff wirelessly. Because I feel like a PS5 is kind of weak and doesn't always work exactly how you want it to wirelessly. But yeah, the Switch Pro controller is great, and
yeah, the wireless technology hasn't gotten quite where we want it to be nowadays.
Yeah, and I wish I had more to say, but I haven't connected my Wii to the TV in literally probably 2 years. I don't even see a reason to. Handheld's the way to go.
The next 4 is we have a lot of good opinions on. Number 4 is Xbox One, and I play this all the time on the PC, and I love it. I'm playing it right now with Resident Evil 9. Overall, it's just really good. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just curious. Is the Xbox One different than the Series S and X, or are they just all the same controller? Like the newest Xbox, they have a newer controller?
The only difference is...
this is the closest I have, Xbox 360, which is pretty close to the same design.
It's pretty close to the same design. The Xbox One is just really comfortable for PC, and I've been using it. And I actually don't know how different is the X and S. Maybe the same.
Yeah, maybe I'll compare them. I'll put pictures here to compare them. But this is the 360. As a reference, it's pretty close. I mean... the sticks are kind of tough.
But you all know what Xbox controllers generally feel like if you play games.
Yes.
And you probably are if you are watching this.
And the hard part about a lot of the older ones, too, that really I'm glad they stopped doing is the replaceable batteries. A stupid double. I don't know how many AA batteries I went through. How many TV remotes for the living room TV that I took the batteries out and forgot? Like,
yeah.
sit down to watch TV after a long day. Like, oh man.
All you 90s kids, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then your parents punch you. No, I'm just kidding.
That never happened.
Just kidding.
Well, not never. I mean, they were mine. Number 3 is the PlayStation series after the first PlayStation controller. So PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, PS6, PS7, PS8.
Yeah, PSA controller is going to be in your butt. The only reason we say we exclude the original is remembering it nostalgically, it was an amazing time and it felt right when we were younger. Mm-hmm. But as an adult, if you pick it up, you don't realize it's like, I don't know, 25% smaller than the controllers are now, and it's like
it gets too sticky.
It's as light as paper, and no analog sticks on the original. But I guess you could include the PlayStation DualShock because DualShock and On are all right. No, we're still DualShock 5.
I guess I bet it got sticky even if you had clean hands.
Yeah,
and I mean, it didn't really last too long. But PS2 and On, the analog, it felt good control, good handle, good weight.
Yeah, and you can only mess up a combo in Tony Hawk and throw it at the wall like twice before it stopped working.
Right.
Maybe that's just me. Anybody relate? Broken controllers, Tony Hawk.
And same thing as last time. All y'all probably played PlayStation, right? Or Xbox.
Maybe broken controllers, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh.
But yes, I mean, even now, like I showed earlier, the PS5 controller, it's great. I love it. Love the PS5 controller. But I mean, PS3, PS2, PS4.
I wish I brought my Super Nintendo controller, but that's number 2 is Super Nintendo. Okay, I play it all the time. I speedrun mini games. It's just so comfortable. I can play it all day. Now, speedrunning Mario 3 for an hour and a half, it hurts. Super Nintendo, play 8 hours, and I've done it 8 hours straight, and it doesn't hurt at all. It's still comfortable. The buttons last a long time, probably a few years before you got to replace the buttons.
Well, it did show how Nintendo focused so much on hardware and customer input because they learned with how small and sharp parts the NES was, and they made this NES controller quite a bit bigger and round. It's like they directly listen to what we said. Maybe companies should do that more. All right.
It's almost like they are gamers themselves. They're like, oh man, why did we make this?
Yeah, Nintendo has the quality. I mean, you pay for it, but
the Nintendo Steel quality.
You can count on Nintendo.
Which their next number 1 is the Nintendo GameCube, the most comfortable controller of all time, in our opinions.
Whoa.
It is so comfortable. Look at the alien, the way it's so alien-like compared to other controllers. But
that's supposed to be white, but I bought it from a smoker. All right.
But yeah, oh my god, that'd be horrible. And you'd think the C analog and the other analog wouldn't be as comfortable when you play it. It actually is. It actually is. Listen to that. 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 I'm making you laugh. Listen to that.
Well, I don't know if you noticed you were way off camera blocking it with your hat. But you were blocking with your hat. So let's try to this is what he's doing. He's holding it here. I hold it backwards. But what he was showing with the controller clicks is they're very satisfying.
You're going to make it repeat and going,
yeah. But it was a great controller. And the one thing too you notice here with these sticks is they have the octagon where they lock into these places, which is really nice. But one thing I have to say is great for games that it's built for. Metroid Prime, Mario, Zelda, amazing.
Resident Evil
4, which is directly built to work on this controller. We forget it started on the Cube, changed everything. Now we got the remake, but it came from the Cube. If you try to play any racing games, catch.
Except Mario Kart.
If you try to play any racing games or sports games, see, it doesn't work very well. It just, unless the games were directly made by the developer for the GameCube. I think we did get a shooter. It was called Killer 7 or something that worked.
Killer Instinct. No, I was in N64.
But it did work great for what it was made for and for 99% of the GameCube library. So, and even till today, you did,
you can do it.
I know you got to wrap the first looser so you're not pulling on this part.
So anyway, what do you think about the controllers 10 through 1 or 1 through 10 or whatever else we missed? Let us know
this may not be the most visually stunning episode, but you know what? We're here to talk about what we love, and we hope you relate to us. And
we always have a good time, and this is what we love to do. We're not gay, though. That was friendship stuff. I'm making it awkward. I'm awkward.
Now everybody thinks we're gay. All right, another thing forgot to mention, I don't have to show you, but Nintendo 64. I know a lot of people might be wondering why it wasn't on this list. A big reason is because it's very controversial, and I actually enjoyed it, but a lot of people hated it. The biggest problem with a Nintendo 64 controller is if you look back at the time in Japan when they marketed it, when they sold it, or they explained to people the directional button, you hold it on the outside with the outside 2, like a regular controller, for 2D games. If the game's 3D, you hold the middle and use the analog stick, and this side of the controller doesn't exist. So that's the reason why it's R and Z instead of R and L, because you're not supposed to use L of the directional pad at all in 3D games. They explained that in Japan, but in America they threw it at us, and they're like, stupid Americans are like, what's this boomerang thing? Duh. Like we always do in America, we reject everything new and foreign because it's scary or whatever. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I think if it was explained better, it would have worked better. Jacob is not wearing pants, and I'm afraid. All right, just me this time, guys. I forgot about... Some people say honorable mention. We're going to call this one an absolute dishonorable mention. This is the original Steam controller. Like, why? This right here, you'd think it's like, analog or whatever. No, this is directional. The diagonal doesn't do anything. It's whatever direction you're closest to. It's so ridiculous. This is supposed to be a touchpad and it's one button. It's not like different buttons at every area. It's one button with a touchpad that barely works. There's a reason why nobody has ever seen, but I think this sold so little, like it reset them. They had to restart everything on their own gaming stuff. So Steam, I'll never forget. I love your new controller. It's great. I don't have one to show because I haven't used it lately. But why? What were you thinking? You're Steam. You know games. What the